Hi there. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to those responsible in creating this amazing platform for us to share our point of views, our experiences, and everything else. It's an amazing idea, and I do hope many more out there would support and cooperate and you know give their all, as well as learn something out of this. Thank you. All right. Thing I'm gonna talk about is labels. We all, everyone, almost everyone has labels put upon them, and whether or not and how it affects you, it's purely individualistic. As in, for me, I've had multiple labels put on me. For example, one of the most obvious ones are fag, CC, feminine, gay, ladies boy, lady boy, or whatever the word is, and so many more other labels, which practically half of it I've not even heard of, and it was quite a shocker to get these kind of labels on you. But all right, I mean the main thing is how we choose to deal with all this. Some choose to accept it and move on. Some assume that it's a bad thing and they try to change themselves. Well, the others just don't give a damn. And there are many ways in taking it. My ways in taking these labels are I purely don't care. I mean, yeah, their labels come and goes. I mean, every single thing you do, and regardless on a daily basis or weekly basis, if you were to do something different, voila, there you go. You get a new label. I mean, connected, tied down to your name. And what how far is it going to take you in life if you were to sit there and ponder over it, wondering why and is there anything you can do about it? Honestly, personally, no. Just because someone calls me a faggot or a sissy, that does not mean that I want to be, you know, to change myself and to be someone whom I'm not. Yep, this is how I talk. This is how I portray myself. I walk around I walk around the streets with a earring on my right, and due to that, I get called gay, faggot, CC, and all that. So what? I mean, does it make me a less of a person who I am? Does it make me a bad person? Am I hurting anyone out there? No, I'm just being me. I'm just being comfortable in my own skin. And I mean, regardless of what you do, how you speak, your gestures, your body language, your sense of fashion, your opinions in certain topics, no matter what you say or what you do, you are bound to be tied down to certain type of label. And if the labels are good, bask in it. And if the labels are bad, ignore it. I don't think by getting all paranoid or getting all worked up with these labels, it's going to do any good for anyone. Just because someone calls me feminine, just because someone calls me feminine when I drink a drink with my pinky out, that does not mean I have to every day try to control myself and not to make it obvious and become so paranoid when I'm in public places. And so what if my pinky's up when I hold a cup and have a drink? So what? This is a way that I believe one should deal with labels. It not only it somehow programs your mind and makes you feel better. And there are so many other things to be worried about. I mean, when it comes, you have your whole life out there to think of. What are you gonna achieve? What are you gonna, for students, if you're a student, how's your academic life, your social life, your stepping stones towards career in the future, and if you can settle down with someone, and if you're gonna have a family with someone, and if you're not, things like that. There's so many things out there to think about and to plan out instead of sitting at home and pondering over certain labels people have called you and getting all sad or worked up and depressed. I don't think that's how life should be. And for me, it's basically just ignoring. Ignorance is bliss in many ways. It Certain labels can bring down to bullying, and if it goes that bad, you have to put a stop to it. And the only way I can think of by putting a stop to it, it starts with you internally. I mean, when I was young, I could not play soccer. I could not play any type of sports ever. During any physical education class, I skipped the class and ran around with my girlfriends playing catch, or I just sit in the classroom alone reading a book. Why how did I start doing all this? It's not because I hated sports, it was because of the treatment I got from my classmates. Just because I could not score a goal, or I could not understand the dynamics of the soccer at that point of time, I was labeled as, actually, so many nasty labels. It's just too obscene to voice it out here. And the moment these negative labels started coming, I knew I could not change them. I had two options: either to excel in it and prove them wrong, that look, I'm not like this is how I can be. Or the next thing I can do is just choose to ignore and do what I want to do. I would rather just sit alone in class and have a good book, read a good book, compared to going out there and getting teased and getting embarrassed, and in the same time doing things which I didn't like to do at all. I had no interest in sports. Unless I genuinely had interest in sports and I was not good in it, then it would serve a different purpose if I were to practice and try to excel it and prove them wrong. But contrary to that, I had no interest at all. So the option of being alone in class or going out with the girls and playing something else and doing something else was much more easier to execute and much more content and satisfying, instead of putting yourself through all that depressing moments of pleasing others and being pretentious. I don't think anyone should succumb to any types of labels. I don't think anyone should change themselves just to please someone else. Just because you want to please your friends or acquaintances or colleagues or anyone else, you should not change who you really are. You have to be yourself, and by being yourself, ex- you'll be able to exhibit confidence. You're able to achieve so many things in life. Trust me, I've gone through that, and I am living proof in a way. I may be young, I may be, you know, still naive as to do certain things, but I know how it feels like. I've been there, I've gone through it, I've experienced it, and I've survived it. I've achieved so many things right now due to the main fact of ignorance towards these labels. And if I were to sit and ponder over it, I don't think I would have achieved even a quarter of what I've achieved now. To those out there, regardless of what your sexual orientation is, regardless of who you are or what you are, accept yourself for all the positive things you have in you, and know that you're unique in your own ways. And pleasing others, it's a no-no. Do not do anything just to please someone else, and do not change who you really are. Be true to yourself, for that's one of the major things that will take you far in life. And trust me on that. It is something which you would have, something genuine, something you. Do not succumb yourself into pretentiousness or anything as such. Thank you. Bye bye.